Here is my team selection for game week 7 in FPL. Now, this week in FPL, I am not bringing in Cole Palmer.
What?
I am, however, going to sell Eric Beachy Eze. But who do I bring in? Let's talk about it in another Fantasy Premier League video. Kicking things off with the goalkeeper and defenders here. I think looking overall at the fixtures alone, I am pretty pleased about how things look this week. But we're going to go into detail. We're going to look first at the double Arsenal defence. Of course, David Raya and Gabriel. A pairing that quite a lot of managers actually have. But sort of that Southampton at home fixture. Of course, we've seen last week against Leicester, Arsenal conceded 2 goals. It is what it is. I think this week, a point to prove at home against Southampton. I'm hoping and praying for a clean sheet because at the end of the day, a clean sheet from these two, maybe a bonus here and there shared between David Raya and Gabriel. We're looking at a really good point total already for the week, regardless of what the other fixtures say. So, yeah, I think these two boys, I'm banking on them very much to get a clean sheet this week. If they don't and concede a stupid goal, I will be upset. But let's move on to Trent, just alongside Gabriel there, with a Crystal Palace away fixture. Now, I just want to pull this up just to talk a little bit about Trent's up-and-coming fixtures, because at 7.1 million, are these kind of the fixtures you're really wanting for Trent Alexander-Arnold? I suppose, yes, he can do it in any fixture, but in terms of clean sheet points, is it likely in these fixtures? Sort of this week with Crystal Palace away, I really do like the fixture for Trent, so of course I'm going to be playing him. But when it comes on to game week 8 and game week 9, Chelsea, then Arsenal, and then of course straight after you've got Brighton, then Villa. The fixtures don't look fantastic. They really don't. So, yeah, I suppose it's in the back of my mind at the moment of, do I need to sell Trent sometime soon? Because there is other players out there with better fixtures. For example, Guardiola. I could downgrade to Guardiola and perhaps upgrade a spot in my midfield, which I will discuss a little bit later on in the video. But yeah, for this week, I will just assess what Trent's situation is. Is he getting more than 80 minutes? Is he contributing greatly going forward? Yeah, we'll wait and see with Trent, but it is slightly in the back of my mind to sell him soon-ish. Of course, Rico Lewis here, a good talking point as well in terms of minutes. Of course, he's playing so many minutes. He's doing amazing for Manchester City. Pep absolutely loves him, speaks very, very highly of him. But is he going to get rested for this fixture? It's just, he's played a lot. I understand that. He has played a lot of minutes, but if he's such an integral part of the Pep system now, which it seems like he is after playing all of these minutes so far, I don't see why he wouldn't start against a Fulham side at home. It just doesn't really make sense to me. So I think I said this last team selection video. For now, I'm just going to treat Rico Lewis as if he's starting every single week. I don't want to deal with the headache of, is he going to start, is he not? I'm just going to start him. If he doesn't play or he comes off the bench, it is what it is. We'll assess what the situation is after the fact, but I'm just going to pretend he's going to start. And it makes me happier, and I do believe he is going to start for these good fixtures coming up. So, yeah, overall, the defence there is looking really great, but it looked great last week, and only one of them came away with 2 points. So that could happen this week. It could be the complete opposite. You just never know in FPL, but overall, I'm feeling great about my defence. Moving on up now to the midfielders of my squad. I think I'm going to start over here with Brian Mbeumo. Now, the Wolves at home fixture is a good fixture for Brentford, in my opinion, and I'm hoping that Mbeumo scores early yet again. I don't know what it is, but he just scores early on in matches for some reason. Hopefully, he can score early on and maybe a few more attacking returns later on in the fixture. But yeah, I do think it is a good fixture for Mbeumo this week, and I'm kind of looking forward to see how Brentford play. Of course, they are playing slightly worse without Johan Wissa. I think Wissa is a bigger miss than people kind of make it out to be. He is a fantastic player for Brentford, but Brentford do have other players who can play sort of them positions around there anyway. We will move over to Semenyo now with that Leicester away fixture. This is going to be my last game week owning Semenyo. I do believe I will sell him next week. The idea is to go for a Dwight McNeil next week in replace. So yeah, sort of this fixture is a good fixture for Semenyo, and as a football player, I think Semenyo is fantastic. I think he's very clever in the way he plays, very skillful, very direct, which I absolutely love about footballers. I don't really particularly enjoy the modern era of footballer where they're sort of tiptoeing around here and there. Semenyo just gets at them, and I absolutely love him for that. But yeah, sadly, this will be the last week I own Semenyo. If all injuries aside, maybe I need to keep him a few more weeks, but. Moving along, next to him, Erebici Eze. Now, this is going to probably be my transfer out this game week. I am going to wait until the deadline stream that I will be doing tomorrow from 9 a.m. till around 11:30, just in case we get any late news or who knows what could happen on the deadline stream. So I would recommend you join me tomorrow and watch along for the deadline stream. But the move I'm kind of thinking about doing at the moment is Eze out, of course, with the Liverpool at home fixture, Forest away from home fixture, then a Spurs at home fixture. I just don't think they're good fixtures at all for Erebici Eze. Sort of my opinion of the Liverpool fixture, I mean, we can understand immediately why that's a bad fixture for Eze. You can sort of see the green fixture indicator colour there for the Forest game. I just don't think that should be green. I think that should be sort of a grey fixture for Palace, because Forest have only conceded 7 goals in the first 6 game weeks of the Premier League season, and they actually do look pretty decent defensively. So I just think that, again, that's a bad fixture for Eze. And sort of when you compare that to Brennan Johnson, someone who's greatly in form, you've got a Brighton fixture there. Chelsea have just decimated Brighton. West Ham haven't looked fantastic. And, of course, it is a home fixture for Spurs, which is quite nice. And then game week 9, Spurs play Palace themselves. So, yeah, I think Brendan Johnson's fixtures coming up are quite nice. Sort of after that, you're hitting, it's sort of hit and miss fixtures, but he's greatly on form, and I'm looking forward to possibly owning Brendan Johnson before the game week 7 deadline. We will move over to Bukayo Saka now. Saka will be my vice captain this week. I read a stat somewhere. I simply can't find it at the moment, but there's not a lot of instances where Bukayo Saka has scored more than 3 attack and returns in FPL. There's not a lot of times he does haul in the Premier League. So possibly this could be the week. This could be the week that Saka goes absolutely crazy and gets loads and loads of points. But I just don't really want to take the chance and captain him when I'm maybe not expecting a massive haul. Maybe 2 attack and returns from Bukayo Saka this week, as I'm sort of expecting. But he is looking quite creative. He's looking quite, well, since Odegaard is out, he's sort of building up that sort of creative role and trying to move his team forward, which I do appreciate from his game. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Saka this week, but I am expecting him to play quite well with that great fixture of Southampton at home, but it just doesn't make him my captain this week. Morgan Rogers, 5.1 million, probably the best player around that price point, playing unbelievably, beaten Bayern Munich in the Champions League. Aston Villa players, their confidence will be absolutely through the roof. Again, he's going to stay in my side. Of course, we had a disappointing period where he didn't get any attack and returns, but yeah, I'm going to continue to hold him. I really like him as a football player. I think he was a little bit unlucky not to be called up to the England squad, so perhaps a point to prove in this week against Man United. Again, Man United, they don't look too good at the moment. Ten Hag is probably on his way out, and I think we'll not talk about Man United too much. We'll speak more about Morgan Rogers, but yeah, I think he is a great asset in FPL, especially at his price point in FPL of 5.1 million. But across the midfield there, I'm pretty happy. Of course, it's just Erebici Eze. And again, we'll show you one more time. This is my likely transfer for game week 7, but I will discuss on my deadline stream tomorrow whether I do make this move. But I have to say it is very likely that I do make this move on screen right here. And finishing things off with my two amazing forwards, Ollie Watkins and Erling Haaland. We'll kick things off though with Ollie Watkins. I think there is an opinion around the FPL space at the moment of John Duran's just came on in the Champions League game, won them a game against Bayern Munich. Does that impact Ollie Watkins' minutes? Doesn't mean Ollie Watkins doesn't start in the Premier League. In my opinion, I think there is a world where Ollie Watkins, John Duran, and Morgan Rogers can play in the same side and it worked very well. I suppose we've seen that on the pitch at times when they've all been on the pitch at the same time. It has worked and it has been quite a good squad. So, yeah, I'm not too worried about sort of Ollie Watkins getting benched. It's sort of the structure of Aston Villa will probably just look a little bit different with all three of those assets in the squad. And sort of if that does start to become the case and John Duran gets a lot of minutes, perhaps he becomes an FPL asset. But for now, I do think Ollie Watkins still is a good pick. He is quite expensive though, but he is scoring quite a lot of goals and sort of building up attack and returns, especially in the last few weeks of FPL. So I'm going to put my faith in Aston Villa and Ollie Watkins this week yet again. Let's talk about the captaincy though. Erling Haaland, Fulham at home. Of course, Newcastle gave Manchester City a great game last game week. And I'm saying that as a Sunderland fan. Newcastle really did give them a good game, and I think there's a point to prove there for City this week. Of course, they did well in the Champions League, not really facing an amazing opponent. However, I think there is a point to prove there, and Erling Haaland is only going to add to his goal tally. It's just a matter of when he does so. And I think this Fulham fixture probably is a good fixture to captain Erling Haaland. You could sort of argue, why aren't you captaining Saka? But again, I'll just bring up that stat again. There's not a lot of instances where Saka gets massive hauls in FPL. This could be the week. It really could be for Saka with that fixture. But I'm going to back Erling Haaland this week. I did take a -4 last week to get Erling Haaland in, so I feel as though I will be wasting sort of points not going for Haaland this week, and sort of an ownership play as well. I know a lot of people will be captaining Erling Haaland in game week 7, but overall with the squad there, you can see how it would look. Of course, you can probably replace Eze with Brennan Johnson in the middle there. I think it's a very likely transfer of mine this game week, but overall, super happy with the squad, actually. I'm hoping I get a green hour. I've sort of been on a massive downtrend. I was top 20k in the world, and now I'm top 500k. It's still a good rank. I'm still very grateful. However, I would like to go on the uptrend again, and I'm hoping this is the week I will do so. But of course, we will find out. And again, I will mention I am doing a deadline stream tomorrow from 9 AM till 11:30. So join along to see what moves I do make. But it is probably going to be Eze to Brennan Johnson. As always, to outro my videos, I like to give you guys at home a big thank you for supporting the FPL Mugs YouTube channel. If you have enjoyed today's video and you aren't subscribed to the channel just yet, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. But that is everything for today's video. Thank you so much for watching again, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.